Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tommy Duncan, and we also have
Stewart
on Black Men Speak. And today we're going to have an interesting segment where we're going to talk movies today. So the Avengers, which I believe is maybe 3 or so weeks out, and then we'll also talk about another Marvel movie, the Black Panther as well, which obviously has been out for a while, but both of them bring some pretty interesting and creative concepts to movies. So we want to kind of do a general review of it and then talk specifics, and we'll just see where it goes from there. So what were your thoughts on the Avengers movie?
The Avengers?
Yeah, Avengers. Depends on what side of the trench.
Actually, I like the Avenger movies. In fact, I like all the Marvel movies. I think Marvel has pretty much rescued Hollywood for the most part. At a time when it seemed like they're struggling to come up with new themes and concepts and storyline, Marvel, at least Marvel Studios, has stepped up and given us some really, really interesting stories. We started out with the Hulk and Spider-Man, but then Captain America, and then the Avengers, and then to the movies that we're going to talk about today, Black Panther, and then the Avenger movie. Two of the biggest blockbusters in the history of Hollywood, and to have both of those in the same year,
yes,
from one studio, and that's not even count on the success they've had from previous blockbuster movies that they've put out, and they kept their budgets, I hate to say relatively small, but let's say relatively average. They've been averaging maybe $150, $200 million per film, which on Hollywood standards is about average for a really good movie.
Okay, no, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so I think their cheapest movie may have been some $70, $80 production, and that may have been maybe Deadpool, or I can't remember the movie, but
And there's a new Deadpool coming out too.
there is, right, they do have a new Deadpool coming out, so.
And we can talk about that a little bit too. You saw the original Deadpool.
I saw the original, man. It was kind of huge and funny, man. And let's hope that the sequel to that is just as good. But let's start with Black Panther, man. I thought
Let's start with that.
really, really great production, good cinematography. I wish there would have been a little bit more action, but otherwise, overall, man, I was very pleased with the movie. It's a movie I would definitely pay to go see again. And you get your money's worth. I mean, it's a long movie, but it took that length to get the whole storyline. And I think if you had shortened it, you would have left some good parts out, and maybe the story would have been as complete.
Right. I think what I appreciate about Black Panther is that they did a very good job of developing the storyline, developing the characters.
Yes.
There was some interesting twists in the plot, especially at the end. For those of you, I would presume everyone has seen it. If you have not, go see it. But you also have to go through all the credits, because something happens at the very end. For those who've seen the full movie would know about. But I think they did a very good job of developing the plot. This is probably one of the first films that I've seen maybe since, the late 70s, early 80s that had predominantly all black cast. But for it to be a superhero movie, and it had overwhelmingly, not 100%, but overwhelmingly black cast in all facets of the movie. I found that to be very interesting, very well directed. Special effects were phenomenal. I personally grew up reading comic books, but didn't know that much about Black Panther, so even learning about the history of it after the fact was very interesting to me. And I think more so than anything else, given who the hero is and just the whole creativity of the storyline, I think does a lot for a new generation of not just comic book fans, movie fans, children, not just children, young people and older people of color who want to see a fresh and creative approach to what's on the big screen.
Now I'm going to give Marvel credit for Black Panther for this. One of the knocks I have against Hollywood making black-centric stories or movies is they tend to have a white person who's a hero at the end. There's always a white person that comes in and saves the black people from whatever is going on. So they make themselves a hero at the end. I think Black Panther was one of, and I kept waiting for the letdown at the end. But it didn't happen though, so I'm going to give Marvel credit for allowing black people to be the heroes in their own stories. So, but yes, overall I think it was a good movie. Shot very well, good storyline, and the fact that we can be the heroes in our own storyline, fight our own battles, somehow prevail. What do you think about the fight scene at the end now with really it was his nephew? Would it be his nephew? It was his uncle's son.
Yeah, it was his brother's
his cousin.
It was his brother's
It was his
son.
dad's brother.
Yeah, it was his.
It was his dad's brother.
You know what
so that would make his cousin.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, it would be his
Eric Killmonger.
Yes.
I thought that it was, for me, it was kind of bittersweet. Not because the guy was a nemesis and a foe, but when you consider his platform and what he stood for, and that's kind of getting back because he came from a very tough situation as a kid. Father died, by the way, through the hands of the father of the Black Panther, and at the ultimately, his mission was to empower the powerless. Yeah. And that's not something that, honestly, that most people would probably fight against, other than the fact that he...
The way they went about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so his means kind of was sideways with folks, but in terms of his ultimate goal, I think he was very right on point, and certainly I had a soft spot.
Well, the problem that I have with that, though, Tom, is that, okay, you know what you have. Sometimes they say you should stick with the devil you know. You know what you have with the powers that be. If you overthrow those powers or let the powerless come up, become the powerful, you may not know what you're getting at that point. You may not get what you expected in that scenario. So empowering the powerless to become powerful may result in something that you didn't expect. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it may be best to stay with the powers that you know. But then the other thing, I thought the offer to share their technology, share their power, crystals with the rest of the world, I thought was a big mistake. I think it's almost like having the bomb these days. The fewer countries that have it, probably the better. If too many countries have it, someone's going to make a mistake, there's going to be an accident, or someone's going to come to power and use it in a way that sets off the whole world. So it's dangerous to have that kind of technology in the hands of multiple people. And in the age where you can, their ships can go into stealth mode, you can't see them and track them. When people are flying planes in the building, just imagine what a terrorist would do with one of these things if you loaded it up with explosive and flew it into a building, and you don't even see that. At least with a plane, you at least track it on radar and maybe see that, okay, maybe this thing's off track, off course. Maybe something bad is happening here, and let's scramble and see if we can do something about it, at least in the age of post 9/11. In today's age, if you had a stealth device like that, a plane that could fly anywhere in the world into something, somebody would take that technology and use it in a bad way. So I would be very careful about opening up our country and our technology and power to the rest of the world in those situations.
I'd agree with you, and this is my logic. I mean, for those who are in power, we speak, whether we're talking today or 100 years ago, you have a few people who have a lot of power. Typically, they got it through the bullet. They may have had the Bible in the other hand to soften the blow, but ultimately they're not sharing very much of their power, their resources with the poor to help them out. And so for a country that no one else knows around the world, who's not on the radar, to say, you know what, we will offer maybe some of our best medical technology, but when you talk about potential weapons of mass destruction and or other things, man, that people can take advantage of, I would yet be very careful about that, because ultimately, we found out that some of the wealthiest countries in the world, United States of America, very wealthy in terms of natural resources. And if we look at our history books, the Indian helped the folks who came over on Plymouth Rock, but now the Indians barely exist in the United States of America. And even Africa, naturally the most wealthy continent in the world in terms of resources. They helped some of the explorers who went over there. Now we know what's going on in Africa right now. So you got to be extremely careful about who you help.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like those who are in power are helping folks over there when you consider what's happening with, diseases, the Ebola virus and stuff like that. But getting back to the movie, I think it made a lot of very interesting political statements. What were your thoughts about that? Should this and is this the right platform to make political statements? If we're talking about
it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. When I go watch a movie, I want to watch a movie to be entertained. I want to escape reality. I think movies that try to outsmart the public by being smart, by being realistic, and we're going to keep it real. Take a street term and apply it to Hollywood. I think they end up really making bad movies in the end, movies that people are not going to enjoy as much. Because you go to the movies, you want to escape reality. This is your chance to vacate yourself from real life and live in a different world, to see something else, to imagine life differently. And then they throw reality back in your face. Well, I don't have to pay $12 to go have reality thrown in my face. I can just live it. I mean, I see reality every day. So I don't want to go to a movie and see the Ebola outbreak in Africa. I mean, I know that's going on. I can watch the news and hear about that without paying money to go see it. So from that perspective, I don't want to deal with politics or real life scenarios that are too real. Keep it entertaining for me and stay out of politics with the movies. I know sometimes the writers and some of these studios can't resist to take their shots. So keep it to a minimum, I guess, if you have to do it.
What were your thoughts? I think one thing that was very refreshing and interesting is not just the cast itself, but the role of some of the supporting actresses. And I say actresses.
Yeah,
first you had
role.
There you go. First you had the love interest of the Black Panther. Then number two, you had his young sister who was brilliant scientist. And then obviously you had the
security chief.
Absolutely. So there were several females, and mind you, no question about their identity, females in this, who played a major role. What are your thought process? How did that impact you when you saw that, and what?
I was a little surprised that they played such a dominant role. They're a big part of the movie.
Even the mother.
Yes, you take them out. You take the strong Black woman out of the movie, and then you water it down. So I think what we should pay attention to here is that they really depicted the strong Black woman differently than we think of the strong Black woman today. Today in real life, generally we tend to, that conjures up images of someone who's boisterous and loud and pounding her chest, and that may have something of male envy or something, or someone who's angry that life has not turned out the way she wanted it. But in the movie though, these women were strong, but it seemed like you didn't get a sense that they were overbearing, overpowering. They knew their jobs and their roles, and they stuck to it. There were times when they knew they had to step back. There were times when they had to provide counsel. There were times when they had to, help save the Black Panther and to help him, achieve his goals. But wherever the role was, be it the butler, security, the sister who was the technology scientist, no matter what the role was, these were all women that you could relate to, and you didn't come across that they were trying to be man-like in their roles. So you're right, very, very woman-like, but very strong, especially the security folks, man.
What do you call the alley? I wouldn't want to be called the alley.
So
man.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to make one of them mad, man. But it seemed like they were all seemed like they were well-tempered, man. There was nobody, flying off the handle, shouting, having a temper tantrum, walking out, slamming doors, going through any kind of control drama. There was none of that. I mean, so it was welcome to see Black women in roles where they could shine, and their strength could come out, their inner strength could come out in a way that that didn't look like they were trying to hide anything or overpower anyone else. So.
No, I'd agree. And on top of that, these were sisters who had power and influence in providing counsel.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thing that was very impressive to me, just in terms of the way that their roles were.
And the Black Panther trusted the women around. It wasn't like, it was like, oh, they're just talking, go do my own thing. You're right. I mean, the counsel they provided was things that he needed to hear, and gave him great advice. And what they took it about, was at least he got the information to consider it.
Exactly, because ultimately, he was the king, but there's going to be a queen, and they were positioned more as partners in the equation, and not I'm man and I'm gonna dominate you. And ultimately, what I say, not that what he says doesn't matter because he is the king, but ultimately they had a great deal of power and influence, grace in the movie. So I found that to be profoundly interesting. I think that has a huge impact on a lot of young Black girls who are growing up now in terms of.
You read my mind.
Exactly.
That is a great example for young couples on how to interact. That even if you're the male of the household, or you consider yourself to be the leader of the household, that it's important that as head of the household, be it either man or the woman, that you at least are open to counsel from the other person. That in Black Panther, the other tribal chiefs, you have to listen to them, take advice from the Queen Mother. He would have to take advice from his sister, from his security chief. I mean, there are other people, even from the council, that you have to take advice from. The passed on father, that you spiritually get a chance to connect with. So there are all these opportunities that where people were giving him counsel and advice that if you're not open to it, how many bad decisions would he have made if he didn't at least be open to it? So let that be a lesson for your young brothers out there. Be open to wise counsel from your significant other.
Absolutely.
Something that we learned from the movie to apply to real life. See, we come up with answers here.
So what were your thoughts on the Avengers?
The Avengers. That is, man, you know what? If I was just looking at the script or someone had just shot the concept to me and said, this is what we want to do, this is the storyline we want to go with, I'm telling you, I would have said, we need to go a different direction. You're talking about a movie, and I don't want to give it away for anyone who hasn't seen it, but you're talking about a movie, and it's hard to identify whether the villain is the villain or the hero of the movie. But we're talking about genocide on a universal scale. We're talking about eradicate half the life in the universe. Not just the known universe, the piece that we know about, the entire universe. So there are trillions of people out there we don't even could possibly know of. And he's on a mission to collect all of these stones to do this. And so like, how do you make this person out to be someone people can relate to and not be a monster? But I think overall they did a good job, because I didn't feel, even though he was a bad guy, I still kind of deep down was thinking he's kind of doing something that's honorable, though, at least for him. It was a reset, because like you said, that there are places, maybe not here in the United States, but even on this planet where, there's a shortage of food, there's a shortage of water, there's a shortage of natural resources. We are blessed here, and maybe a few other countries are blessed to have the wealth to buy what they need, but then everyone else in the world is catching hell for the most part. So you're talking about a universal reset to make sure that the people who survive and live don't run out of the resources they need to continue to grow. And so you point out a couple of examples of worlds that are overpopulated. So what do you do then? And the humane thing would be to eradicate some of the population. And he did it in a way that it wasn't by rank, it wasn't by wealth, it wasn't by birthright, it wasn't by anything other than random selection. Half the people got to go.
Yeah, but in the very beginning of that, when he went to that, I forgot what the name of the planet was, the one where he got the little
girl, yeah.
When she was a little girl, he pretty much had his army shoot everybody down.
Yeah, see, it was at that point, they were doing it the manual way. they were, but he said afterwards that the planet flourished after that, because the population that they didn't kill had the resources to grow at that point and become a better place. So yeah, they were doing it the old-fashioned way of lining people up and actually killing them. But I guess maybe that's why he thought it was more humane to use his strength and his army to go get these stones and do it where they didn't have to go planet by planet, galaxy by galaxy to do this.
So ultimately, what he's being very compassionate. If you call it what, I'm going to get these 5 stones and everyone's just going to basically turn into ashes and dust, and you don't have to get shot.
You don't have to get shot, yes. So it's a compassionate way to go. But I really thought, I did not see the ending coming until the time, to be totally honest.
What part did you say the end?
The very end, when Thor comes down with the axe,
right?
And that this was specially built to kill this guy. I thought when he landed square in his chest, I'm thinking, okay, that is it. He's not going to make it. He's not going to achieve his goal. and then he snaps his finger, and the whole thing starts. He's like, he should have went for the head, and I'm like, oh no, like he is gonna make it. So
Right. No, that was pretty interesting. It's and I put it this way. I mean, you have the collection of the most powerful superheroes in the universe,
Whole collection,
and they could not stop this one bad actor who basically has been going to every place in the universe and eliminating half of the population.
now the Doctor Strange one was kind of interesting for me because he had the time stone, but he gave it up. I don't think he likes Tony Stark that much, but
No, he doesn't.
But he said, I guess he said he went through 14 million permutations and combinations of how this is going to play out, and only one of them actually works in their favor. But I'm thinking, okay, if there's one scenario where it works, wouldn't you at least give that one a try? But he seemed like he's handing the stone over after they put up some kind of fight. But he could have opened a dimension and went any place and went here and never let this guy get the time stone. And that really became the secret for getting the Vision Stone.
Right.
Because after they destroyed the Vision Stone, he actually went back in time and reset it, and then started back from where he knew was going to happen and stopped that, and then was able to get the stone.
Yeah, you got you. Now, the one thing that I did have an issue with, Jimmy, is at the end of the movie, of all the places, why do they have to go to Wakanda in order to have the final battle and almost wipe out the entire city of Wakanda?
Well, because that's the place where they can protect the guy like the Vision Stone. I can't think of his name, the android.
Yeah, the guy with one arm.
Oh, the artificial.
Oh, you know what, you're right about that. Well, at the very end, they got the guy who at the end,
wolf.
the wolf.
The wolf guy. They with the one arm, which they gave him prosthetic, and he was able to become functional again. And supposedly, Marvel has a couple movies for him. That this was the 19th movie that they've made in this whole series.
It's been 19?
19.
Wow.
With all the different characters. But there's supposed to be 32 total. So they're just barely over half way through this whole project. So, because I was wondering with the Galaxy team, for instance, half of them gone, like Root is gone. I can't think of the young lady the green lady who played in Avatar. She's gone, she dies. And Spider-Man's gone, he perishes.
The Black Panther.
Black Panther perishes. But they have a sequel to the Black Panther, but they're already shooting. So, they have to find a way. I'm thinking that, knowing how Marvel works, at least, you look at maybe DC Comics with Flash and Green Arrow, and even the Spider-Man movies, where they have these different dimensions, time dimensions. So I'm thinking that people maybe left this dimension and they end up in some other dimension. They're not dead.
I would be very curious.
They perish here, they reemerge someplace else, and that maybe in the next Black Panther, you're going to find a universe where half the people that they knew are there, and then the other half are here, and maybe they start working on how to get the glove back from this guy. And this is what I really think. I think the daughter, his real daughter, was she his real daughter, the girl with all the mechanical pieces?
Yes.
Okay, she was the real daughter, biological daughter. I think she's going to be the key to the future. I think because she's cunning, she's smart.
Now, which
The one, the one that he had suspended was torturing. That if,
well, no, it was the other young girl that he killed. That was his daughter. The one that
but she called the mechanical girl her sister.
You know what? You're right. And I don't know that I completely understand the story on her.
So I thought maybe she was the biological one, and that he favored the one that he killed. But every time this was disappointing him, he took something off of her. An organ, he took a piece off her, and she had to replace it with some prosthetic piece.
Might be worth seeing again in a matinee, so I can kind of connect all the dots there.
So I think she's going to be the key to the future to getting his glove.
Gotcha.
Somehow I think they're going to bring her back somehow.
Yeah,
and she's cunning enough just to how to figure this out. Now that he has the glove with all the stones, and people know how he did this, I think in order to undo it, he's going to take getting the glove from him.
Because I'm curious now that he's killed off half the population, and a lot of our superheroes. I mean, what the heck is going to happen next? That you killed off, half the guys.
Yes.
It's like just got Black Panther. Now you're going to kill him off the movie. Come on, man.
Black Panther has to be alive in some other universe, some other dimension, spatial dimension that doesn't exist here, or some other timeline. They're going to bring in a new Black Panther?
Yeah, I know.
A new Spider-Man?
I understand. And my question is, what are they going to do to clean up the western Wakanda? I had a big problem with that.
Wakanda would be built itself.
Was the most beautiful place in the world. Somebody's got to pay for it.
They didn't do that much.
Somebody's got to pay for it. All those doggone animals, whatever
they were out there in the field, man. They can regrow the grass. Time to be the building.
Well, you got to remember that Eric Killmonger almost burned up everything by himself, and now these things come in. What's next?
Yeah, I don't think they got to the city part. They were fighting out in the open field, so they can regrow the grass, man. And then when Thor came down, I think he killed off most of the animals, man. Wherever they were, man. But he got there just a little too late. So I think the city part is pretty much intact. All the tribal areas, man. What surprised me though, and I can't remember if it was in Black Panther or this one, where the guy who was the chief of the gorilla tribe, and the security chief lady, there were a couple, or maybe
that was in the Black Panther.
Okay,
that was in the Black Panther.
Or they divorced, or they still?
I don't know, because I know in the Black Panther she said she was ready to cut his head off, and he said okay, and he backed off. She was serious. That's the one thing. She said, "I will cut you for the kingdom. I will cut you."
Yeah, she taking her job serious, man. She meant it. So yes, he backed off at that point. So yeah, that was pretty good.
And maybe they'll figure out a way for Eric Killmonger to come back, because I mean, for what it's worth,
I was hoping he wouldn't die, man.
Yeah, me too. Because
as much as he did, much dirt as he did, I was hoping he wouldn't die in the movie.
Because you see, in most of in American history, and in most of what we read in the storybooks, I mean, honestly, it's folks like that who built America.
Yes.
People who were committed to the cause of their people, and maybe their methods were not always the cleanest in the world, but ultimately they were trying to save their people, and that's ultimately what his mission, his cause was. And so, honestly, I had, in a kind of interesting way, a soft spot for Eric Killmonger, because I believe that his mission outweighed his means, and maybe there's a place for him in the future.
But it also goes to show, Tom, when you have something that you're passionate about, that can drive you to success. So when you hear young people saying they don't have anything to live for, don't have anything to fight for, man, if you just find something that you care about, somebody that you care about, use that to your advantage. And so if you don't want to do it for yourself, find a grandmother or a dead person, someone that you value and respect, and do it for them. And use that as your motivation to keep you going when the chips are down. Because there were plenty of times in his life he could have easily given up. And he took on some dangerous mission working with the special forces with the U.S. government, then with the CIA, and then doing a lot of black ops work. There are times he could have easily died, but those are the things, that's the path he had to take to pick up the skills that he needed to have a chance to be able to defeat the Black Panther.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So I agree with you 110% on that. And for that reason, I definitely did not want to see him die as well. I think there was a lot more to his story that probably should have been told, and especially given that his father died, and he, very early when he was a kid, and his whole life was committed to getting back at the people who killed his father. So.
Yeah, and if they could kind of keep him alive, imprison him a little bit, find a way to find forgiveness, and then for him to use that forgiveness to purify his heart, and then join the family and be reunited with his family, that would have been a much better ending for me, a happy ending. I'm a sap for happy endings, so I think that would have been a better ending than killing him off. So
I agree. So we're about out of time. So what do you think in the last minute?
In the last minute, go see the Avengers if you haven't saw it. Go see Black Panther if you haven't saw it.
Absolutely.
Or if you can go to the movies and catch Black Panther and the Avengers.
Because both of them are still out.
Both of them are still out, that's right. If you can catch both of them with one movie ticket,
double feature.
That's even better. I'm not advocating you do this. I'm not saying I do it, but if I was watching one and the other was playing,
there you go.
I'm not sure if I'd actually go out and buy another ticket, is all I'm saying. So
yeah.
But I actually paid to go see both.
There you go. And I think that definitely, they're worth paying for. There are very few movies anymore that are worth paying for.
That's how I gauge movies. If I see it, where I pay to go see it again, and both of those movies I would pay to go
So
see.
you would consider, said that because we usually judge full price, matinee, dollar movie, or wait till it comes to the TV.
Both of them I would do full price again.
I'd agree.
Yeah,
Both full
they're
price.
very good. There hasn't been any other movie in the last couple of years that I've seen that I would pay full price twice to go see. So that just goes to show just how well both of these movies are. So while we're wrapping up, let's give a big thanks to Fitness 360 for allowing us to use our facility to shoot our show, to MOTC Telecom for providing the equipment and the lighting, to For Us Films, who does our editing and uploading to YouTube.
And of course, subscribers, just like you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So please subscribe and help us out, and then pass the word. And then please write us. Please feel free to comment. You can reach out to myself and Tommy. Are you on Facebook, Tommy?
Yes, sir.
I'm on Facebook, both on Facebook, or you can leave comments on our YouTube channel, and we will respond. And if there are any topics you want us to talk about, let us know, and we'll be glad to make it part of our